Welcome back to the Highline Podcast. Hit that button.
Yeah!
Let's go!
You can't do that.
I can't get it right.
Shut the f*** up and let me talk.
I thought I was wrong once, but I was mistaken.
You're only young,
But you're gonna die. Proceed to party.
Ooh, are you ready, Riley?
What did he say?
Go Tigers.
That's incorrect.
Go Cox. I think that might be the best one we've ever done. That was good. I like that. He don't need your rocking chair, your Geritol, your Medicare, but he's still got neon in his veins. His gray hair don't mean a thing. He does his rocking on the stage. You can't put that possum in a cage. His body's old, but it ain't impaired. And he don't need your rocking chair. He ain't ready for the junkyard yet.
I am.
'Cause he still feels like a new Camry. It might take a little longer, but he'll get there.
Eventually.
Then he don't need your rocking chair. Hell yeah. I tell you, I'm a Denny fan now. Denny, he don't need your rocking chair. He might be the oldest guy on the field, but he go out there and still whoop some ass every now and again. What's that? How many wins is that this year? 4?
Thanks to Alan Gustafson.
Is that 4? Is that Quattro?
Yeah,
Is that the most
That's
in
4
the
for
Cup
Denny.
Series
I'm not that
now?
mad that Denny won. I'm just upset on how he did it.
He,
Not him. He didn't do nothing wrong. I'll get to that in a minute.
Well, I'll say this. He beat your favorite driver.
He did. He
did.
beat your favorite driver as well.
He did. Well, he's quickly climbing the boards. I might have to start shotgunning beers when he wins. And it sounds like the
If you want
fans.
a dick in your ass, go ahead.
It sounds like the fans at Dover.
No, they booed pretty hard.
They weren't booing him.
I don't know what Marty Smith was saying. He was
I didn't hear boos.
No, I heard a lot of boos.
I didn't.
You need to go back and watch that.
And even if they did, it's not normal Denny boos.
No, that's fair. I mean, I don't hate
Denny's
Denny
great.
as much as I used to.
Denny's great. Denny's great. And
Okay, Freddie Kraft.
he's
Are you employed by 2311?
no, thank God, because I might be out of a job
Yeah,
soon. But
Probably will.
I
don't even know what you'd be. Security?
yeah,
It's
something
top
like
flight
that.
security. We top flight security, Craig.
Yeah. I don't know what that is.
What?
What is that?
That's Friday After Next.
Never heard of it. I'm more of a
The second best Friday movie.
I'm more of a Saturday guy. But
I'm more of a let's just die today type of guy.
yeah. Well,
That's how I feel.
I mean, my guys didn't have great days.
Got 2 top 10s at the end of the day.
Shouldn't have.
Shouldn't have.
But
My guy should have won the fucking race. But he didn't.
Yeah, he didn't.
Thanks to a certain individual.
Yeah, the guy holding the steering wheel.
No, not him at all.
Yeah. Because
Somebody on the top of that pit box.
Chase
car.
Briscoe did a hell of a good job on 2 tires.
I ain't talking about Briscoe never took 2
Yeah,
tires.
he took 2 tires on that last pit stop.
Oh, yeah, 50 laps later. Yeah, well, congratulations.
I mean, he had 2 tires. He
Are
drove
you
up
sure
to the
he had
field.
2 tires?
Yes.
Thought he
At
had-
least
I thought
that's what they said on the
I
broadcast.
thought he took 4. All right, I believe you.
He might have taken 4, but I'm pretty sure he took 2, and I'm pretty sure they said on the broadcast that he took 2.
You know what? I was
But-
pissed off at that point. So
Yeah,
that's what it is.
which is fair.
But to be fair, we're doing this on a Sunday night. This is fresh off. This is a full-on, fresh off race reaction here.
Yeah, and you're mad, which
I'm very upset.
I get it. I can't tell you how many times Matt McCall threw away races.
Yeah, I'm about to go in. I'm about to have one of your Matt McCall rants here in a little bit.
So I understand, but I will say this.
Yeah, not a good day for old Trent Davis.
I will say this. Chase Elliott sucks.
Yeah, I mean, he
So-
only led 250-something laps today.
I mean,
but,
when you get
know, it
gifted
is
the
what-
pole,
It's what it is.
you
I mean,
don't have to
fair. I mean, yeah,
qualify.
he got that's fair.
But, and
But that's
I am
that
just
is-
talking shit. He did have the best car. So
And he's done so well other than Chicago, the past 3 races to set the metrics up to allow him to have the pole. back in the day when you would have a rain out, which we'd have a lot of back in the day, the points leader would get it, or which Chase is very close in points. Not like he's like 20th in points, and he just got lucky the past couple of races and having good finishes. You get lucky every now and then on how the track position works.
Not a bad day. You're not.
No, it's awful.
I get you're not going to look at it.
He's probably leading the points now because Byron wrecked. Thanks, Byron. And Go Preece, because he wrecked the next.
Yeah,
he was in the next caution.
Yeah, which didn't hurt him. Didn't hurt him at all because he was running 19th when he wrecked, and he finished 19th.
He would have finished right there with Brad and Chris.
Yeah,
he finished like 12th or something.
It was definitely a strange race.
Awful race. Well, it was a great race up until 60 to go. Not great. I'm being sarcastic.
Yeah, it wasn't great, but
no, it wasn't. Anyways,
the finish was pretty decent, but you're gonna be mad. I get it. It is what it is. But
this is the first time that in a long time that we've done a podcast episode right after the race. Yeah. Our emotions might be running a little high, more than normal. I do apologize in advance for that, but I am still on level 12 right now.
Go 12.
And he had I don't even know where he finished. And he had
ninth.
Did he finish ninth? Okay.
No, Brad or Chris finished ninth.
Yeah, well, correct. There you go.
He was right up in there.
Yeah,
8th, 7th, 8th.
I mean, he was like a 8th place car all day, and I don't know where he pitted on the last pit stop, and he couldn't do what Briscoe did. But Blaney's not a great restarter, so I get it. All my guys suck at restarts, so I'm used to that. But no, it was just a frustrating day, just considering everything that led up to it. Seemed like it was going to be a good day for me, and just didn't work out. But we'll get into that in a minute. Welcome back to the Highline episode 157. Trent Davis Riley Embree. Back at you with a lot of action. How you doing, Riley?
I'm doing all right. It's a Sunday evening, hot as hell. Finally getting some days off after working all weekend. So Monday and Tuesday I'll have off, even though I've got some side stuff to do on Tuesday. Not a full day of work, so I'm good on that front. Got to watch an oval race on Sunday again for the first time, it feels like, in 10 years. So that was good. Even though it wasn't that great of a race, it was still good to see him turn left. We're getting down to it as far as the end of the regular season goes. So it's getting interesting to see how the playoff cut line's shaping out, and I'm excited for all that going forward. I got a big day tomorrow. You do. So looking forward to that. Going to be a good week.
I ain't coming.
Yeah, I don't blame you. On that front, so yeah, it's college football's close.
Yeah,
It's a good time of year. Sports are getting down to my favorite time of year for sports. So, all in all, spirits are high in the Embree household.
Must be nice. I'm doing okay, I guess. And I mean, I worked all weekend as well. Just got off work. What time is it now? 9:30. Got off 2.5 hours ago. But worked all weekend as well. I get one day off tomorrow, and then I go back Tuesday night. So enjoy these 48 hours, technically like 45 and a half now, hours off. And no, I'm doing okay. I got a big day tomorrow. Got our gender reveal. Obviously, we announced it last week that me and T-Dog, my wife, are having a baby. So get to do the gender reveal tomorrow at my in-laws' house. So I'm going to shoot my bow and probably miss the balloon. But me and you sighted it in Thursday, so I have no excuses if I miss. But I'll probably be a little intoxicated when I shoot it. So that'll be my excuse. But
beer and bow and arrows.
Yeah, it's a good combination there.
Just don't shoot one over the fence.
I'll shoot one right at you.
I was trying to set you up, so I shot one over the fence.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Fucking taking.
Well, your thumb release is kind of jank, so
it's very sensitive. It very is. But yeah, you shot
it's
one
supposed to be.
You shot in the woods behind the house about 40 yards. So that was funny. good time there. But real
Well, they
quick,
had that motherfucker at like 10% draw and shot that thing.
yeah, that thing went
Way
way
out
over.
there.
I mean, that thing about hit a damn bird in the sky. But luckily, there's no airplanes coming. But real quick, shout out to my father-in-law. It's his birthday today.
Merry Birthmas.
Matt Man, happy birthday to you. I don't think you won this week in the pick'em, but
I know I didn't.
You picked Denny.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did. You picked Denny. You picked Chris. Both top tens. You picked fucking.
I picked Byron Chris.
Did you?
Yes.
Big dumb. I thought you picked Denny. Did anybody pick Denny this week?
Yeah, somebody did.
Well, anyways, happy birthday, Matt Man. Can't wait to see you tomorrow, and hopefully I don't tear up your house when I shoot that arrow. Yeah, I didn't win either.
I had a decent day. I just don't think I'm going to.
Yeah, it is what it is. But, yeah, let's, I guess, let's get into the race that we watched 3 hours ago. I really don't want to, but let's do it.
Well, first off, fuck you, bitch, and the click you claim. West Side when we ride coming quick with game.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
I will say this about the race. It was all right.
Same.
You know, it wasn't anything to write home about. I was hoping Dover would put on a better race, but that was kind of just unguided optimism. No reason to really believe that Dover was going to be super fantastic. It hasn't been in this next-gen car, in my opinion. You know, dirty airs were really important here. It seems like it's more important here than it is most tracks, and this car is really sensitive pretty much everywhere to dirty air. So, you know, we saw it today. We know we had Chase lead pretty much the whole race, you know, first third, and until he had his.
Well, he got past the initial start by Briscoe, and then
he got him back.
laps in.
Yeah, after that, he kind of took off and built a pretty good lead, and he was the only one when he had the lead that could really do that. I know that the 20 car kind of took off from
stage 2.
From Denny at the end of stage 2, but
after Chase pit crew.
Yeah, after they dropped the car off the jack during that green flag pit stop. But you know, that was really the only time, you know, a car other than Chase really separated themselves from the field too much, and I believe that was simply because of Ty Dillon kind of blocking the 11, not on purpose, but you know, he had a race to run, so I'm not blaming Ty Dillon for that by any means, and I don't think Denny is, you know, either. He got mad in the moment, but you know, he understands. You know, he's got a race to run as well. So, dirty air, really difficult. Chase Elliott navigated through the lap traffic pretty well throughout the first third.
Except for Daniel Suarez.
Except for Daniel Suarez there for a little while, which Daniel was
harder to pass than a kidney stone today.
And he wasn't good at all. You know, I thought going into it might be a little bit more entertaining because of no practice, no qualifying. I thought the field would be a little bit more jumbled up, and guys from the back might work their way forward a little bit quicker. And there was a couple guys that did. I know the 5 got his, you know, worked his way up through there, but it wasn't super fast. Like it wasn't.
No, it took a while.
It was very difficult to pass, no matter who you are, no matter where you were. Then you had a couple guys up towards the front that fell back a little bit. You know, Shane Van Gisbergen. He was doing all right there for a couple laps on the start, but then cut a tire, or, you know, had a slow leak in the tire and ended up dropping like a sack of potatoes and having a pit, and was 5 laps down real early, and, you know, never a factor. So that was kind of disappointing. I was hoping to see him, you know, do a little bit better, especially with a good starting position. But Dover's a tough track for rookies, and, you know, he'd never been there in a Cup car before, so I didn't expect great things out of him. But good starting position for him. I was hoping he'd be able to maintain a little bit longer, which he didn't. The Roush guys had decent position starting, you know. Didn't really
11th, 12th.
and
or
like
12th, 13th, and 15th or something.
15th, something like that.
Yeah.
You know, front
Ran
half
20th all day.
Yeah, most of they struggled, which I thought Chris would have a better day. I didn't think Brad or Priest would be that good. I thought Chris would be a little bit better. He's been faster in the past. Qualified out here on the pole a few years back. Had some kind of success here, but they weren't fast at all. Kind of got lucky.
One Xfinity race here.
Yeah, kind of got lucky with some pitch strategy at the end and some cautions falling their way and kind of salvaged some decent finishes with the 6 and the 17. But all in all, that kind of dampens the race when your guys are kind of non-factors. So that was no fun, and to watch them run 19th all day kind of took me out of it a little bit. But and then you got a guy like Chase Elliott dominating the race. Which I don't dislike Chase Elliott. I talk a lot of shit just because you're a fan, but and I'm not a huge fan of Chase Elliott fans. But watching a guy,
I agree with you. I'm not a huge fan of them either. They're kind of crazy.
Watching,
but I'm not. I don't think I'm that.
Yeah,
bad.
you're not. But watching a guy that you don't necessarily root for dominate is no fun. And then not having any guys up there competitive at all makes it even worse. So. All in all, I think it's a 5 out of 10. Just kind of average NASCAR race. Wasn't terrible. There was some battles throughout the field. I thought the battle between the 20 and the 11 coming down to the big rainstorm before that Ross wreck happened and the big rainstorm that caused a red flag. I thought that was really good racing. And I thought, watching Chase weave his way through the field was kind of fun, but not the type of racing that you want to see. But that's kind of the best kind of couple things that I can, point a finger towards as far as racing goes. But just like I said, average NASCAR race. You'll probably remember this race in 10 years because of what you're about to rant about. But other than that. Not really a lot to write home about. Just kind of another race on the schedule and on to Indy.
Yeah, I thought this race was average, and that was with one of my guys kind of dominating the race. And, it's obviously frustrating that he didn't get the job done at the end. Mainly not his fault. I'll get that in a second. But overall, the race in itself, very hard to pass. Dirty air was just a big factor again, too big of a factor in my opinion. You had guys that were clearly better than other guys, and they just couldn't pass them, or it took them, way too long to get under them. Had to have their car really rotate through the center of the corner to actually make a pass. You had to get a big run off the corners, and either go to the inside or try to get to their right rear corner, and get to the gas in the middle of the next corner before they did to pass them on the outside. So that's frustrating. But that's Dover in itself. Dover's never been the easiest track to pass on, so I'm not blaming all of it on the next-gen car, but the next-gen car definitely does not help the racing at this track. And, track position was king yet again, and it's part of the reason why I'm very frustrated with the decisions of the guy that should have won this race. Not taking anything away from Denny Hamlin. He probably had the second to third best car today. I think the top 3 cars were Chase, Denny, and Christopher Bell. You could throw Larson in that hat, throw Bowman in that hat. But overall, it was dominated. It was the duel of the dominant teams in NASCAR between Hendrick and Gibbs. No other team was going to win this race today, other than Rick Hendrick or Joe Gibbs Racing. So, that's we haven't seen that in a while. It seems like a lot of teams have been stepping up to the plate here recently and taking it to the big teams like Hendrick and Gibbs. And today it just didn't work out for anybody but those teams. If you weren't a fan of any of those teams, you kind of had a rough day. Kind of like you said with your RFK guys, kind of ran just 15th, 20th all day. Just really never had a chance to compete for the win. But overall, I give this race a 5.5 out of 10. It's a little bit above average, but it wasn't great. Just still way too hard to pass. Concrete tracks in this next gen car have, other than Bristol 2024, spring have really been pretty bad. This wasn't bad, but it wasn't good. So, obviously at the end, it very, very frustrating for me. And, just the thing with Chase and the 9 team today, we haven't seen that type of race-winning speed out of the 9 in a while. He won Atlanta, but, it's a drafting-style track, and half the field wrecked and early in the race. Still deserved to win the race, but got lucky along the way as well. Had a good card there, but it's Atlanta. Had a teammate, yes. And, won the Clash earlier in the season, sure. Exhibition, all right, cool. But I haven't seen Chase Elliott do that in a long time. And for him not to capitalize on that and win the race when, you had to kind of diamond the corners. And that's what Chase Elliott is very famous for, and why he's one of the best at diamonding the corners at certain tracks. And Dover's one of his better tracks. He won the first race in the next-gen car in 2022. Won a race here in 2018, almost won in 2017. So this is a very good track for him. And for them not to capitalize and get, 5 more playoff points, got a playoff point for winning stage 1. Had the pole based off, lucky circumstances, but they put themselves in position to have that pole based off, qualifying, getting rained out on Saturday. And for them not to capitalize and win this race is very disappointing. And, if you ask Denny Hamlin who was the best car today, he would probably say Chase Elliott. But the best car doesn't always win the race. I get that. So, I'm not mad about that aspect. I'm just mad about how it happened. And, with 60 to go, we get that caution for rain. Chase Elliott's third. He's the first guy on fresh tires. The freshest tires, anyway. Okay, Christopher Bell is probably in Austin Dillon stayed out. Was hoping for that caution. They got it. Cool. Is what it is. I do get that. They took a gamble and it worked. But they got to pit. If they don't think it's going to keep on raining, they got to pit for fuel and for just tires, because tires did matter a little bit. Not as much as probably we would like to at Dover, but it did matter. All right. Chase Elliott from third. If he stays out, he takes the lead, which is where he's been most of the day, and nobody's been able to pass him on track other than pit stops. They decided to pit. All right. I wasn't happy about it, but all right. There's 6 cars on the lead lap. Let's come down here, take 4 tires, the best car all day, get four freshies on here, and let's see what we can do with the best car. Alan Gustafson takes 2 tires. Again, I don't know fucking why he did that. You're not getting over Christopher Bell and Austin Dillon because they're so far ahead of you because they haven't pitted yet, and you're so far behind them in the running order as far as all the lap cars in between y'all. You're not getting them that way. So, okay, let's scratch that off the board. That don't make no sense to take 2 tires. And again, there's only Denny, Kyle, and Alex, because William Byron got the lucky dog. There's only 2 cars behind you that could technically pass you if they took 2 tires or stayed out. Okay, so it doesn't make sense there either, because you're not going to lose 15 positions if you take 4 tires and a whole bunch of people take 2. Okay. So why the fuck would you take 2 tires? Chase Elliott hadn't been on 2 tires all day. His car has been the best in the field all day. So why take 2 there? You're going to come out 4th regardless. Let's put 4 tires on this thing. You're the best car. Let's give him the best chance to win this race if you decide to pit. If you stay out, I'm good with it. If you pit and take 4 tires, I'm good with it as well. But taking 2 made no fucking sense. Why take 2 tires when there's no benefit to it? That's literally what it's like it's like the same thing as Miami with Georgia Tech 2 years ago in college football. Miami could have kneeled the ball down, and quote unquote, I'm not saying Chase Elliott would have won the race no matter what he did, because we never know what happened. would have happened. But it's almost very similar to Miami not taking a knee against Georgia Tech 2 years ago. But instead they run the ball and they fumble the ball, allowing Georgia Tech to go down there and score a touchdown. That's what they did. And Miami lost the game. I know it's not exactly the same, but it's very close to it. You got the best car all day.
Don't beat yourself.
Do not beat yourself. And Alan Gustafson beat themselves. Chase Elliott, I think, would have won this race on 4 tires or on old tires. But if you take 2 and you make the car, Chase Elliott hadn't driven this car on 2 tires. I didn't see anybody other than maybe Chase Briscoe at the end take 2 tires. And Chase Elliott, to be fair, he still got it back up to 3rd before the rain came. But he had nothing left. He didn't have what he needed to get to the 20 and the 11 because his car, it didn't have it. I'm not saying with 4 he would have went up there and passed both of them before the rain came. I don't know what would have happened, but I guarantee you had a better shot at getting to the 20 and the 11 with the 5 breathing down his neck, who was good all day, but I think Chase was better than him most of the day. It just didn't make any sense. So, I've kind of ranted about this already a couple times. Ranted about it on the TikTok review if you've already seen it. So I'm being a little more cordial here, but Alan Gustafson yet again fucks the strategy on the 9 team and cost Chase Elliott a potential win when he led over 200 laps today, clearly had the best car. It's a horrendous call. I just don't, I'm trying to understand why he chose 2 tires in that situation. Because I've been thinking about it, and I cannot figure out why. Riley, do you have any input on why the fuck Alan Gustafson took 2 tires with the best car with only 6 cars on the lead lap, and you would only lost 3 more positions? Let's say the 48 and the 5 would have took 2 tires behind him. I cannot figure it out.
No, I think you're right. I think it was the wrong decision. I'm not debating that when I say I don't think Alan Gustafson lost them this race. I do think it was the wrong decision, but I don't think that it was a. Because I don't want to say that because I don't really understand the 2-tire thing either. But I have
If he wasn't the best car, I would get it. Trying to get well, not really, not because you wouldn't gain track position anyway.
Yeah,
because you still be 4th on the restart.
And that's where the difficulty comes in, is because you're not close enough to the guys in front of you to benefit from the shorter pits.
Sure.
I'll say this: I think I would rather have a crew chief that takes a chance and gets it wrong sometimes than have a crew chief that is okay with just maintaining. Now, like I said, I think it was the wrong decision with the benefit of hindsight, but Alan Gustafson made a ballsy call and it didn't work, right? But if he takes 2 tires and it works, he's a genius. Everybody's talking about it like, hey, you made this call, it worked, you maintained your position, and whatever happened. You go on to win the race. The 2-tire stop might be what you're talking about as the reason he won the race.
But I get what you're saying, but there was no benefit to that 2-tire stop.
And I'm not saying there was, and I think it was the wrong time to make that call.
When you're the best car.
Yes. I agree. It was the wrong decision based on the circumstances. And I think Alan would admit that. And I think if Chase was being honest with you, he would admit that.
But he's not going to say it. I haven't watched any post-race interviews yet from him.
He won't.
But he won't.
But,
But this is the type of stuff.
It is.
Why Matt McCall got fired last year.
Yeah, and we talked about it a couple weeks ago when
I've been preaching about this for 3 years now.
When Rodney Childers stepped away from Spire, that the 9 car was a possible landing spot for him because Alan Gustafson has kind of lost his fastball when it comes to these type of decisions.
Yeah.
And Alan Gustafson's a hell of a crew chief.
He can set up a car very well.
And he did. No practice.
Yes.
Showed up to the
100%.
racetrack and had the best car.
Yes.
Right? They showed up,
Not arguing
and
with
he
that.
was fast. And, everybody's got their strengths and weaknesses when it comes to, their roles in the team, right? Alan, smart guy, good at setting up a race car, strategy-wise, leaves a little bit to be desired, right?
Even on adjustments, he's not that great.
And, I will say this, though. Sometimes you just get beat. And
Yeah, but this was self-inflicted.
sure, I don't think the two tires helped him by any means.
No.
But I don't know if he wins this race if they take 4 tires there. I still don't think.
I think he's got a better chance.
Sure, but as hard as it was to pass, I don't think he would have been able to take the lead away from Denny or pass Christopher to get to Denny during that run before the rain came.
Maybe not. But I don't think.
But we don't know. Obviously,
Yeah,
we never will.
We'll never know.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know if this rate that choice lost them the race, because I feel like when he lost the lead and the track position.
So you're saying that you should have just stayed out with Denny?
I think
he would have been the leader.
I think
at
that
point.
would be the. I think you either take 4 or stay out, like you said, and I would be
2
fine.
doesn't make any
And I'd be
sense.
fine with either of those. I think the only way you win the race is if you stay out there and get a caution while you're leading, which drags everybody down pit road or gives you time to, kind of equal out on tires. But that's a tough call because we had they pitted with like 60 to go, something like that.
Yeah.
And then, that's about a tire run, right? Now, granted, the first run of the day is always a little harder on tires. Tire wear gets better throughout.
10 laps before.
Yeah, but
15 laps before the caution happened.
But you had tire issues throughout the field in stage 1. Now, granted, it got better throughout the day, but there's cars cording tires at the end of the first stage. Eric Jones had a tire issue. A.J. Allmendinger had a tire issue at the end of the first stage. Some other guys were cording tires that just, it hadn't got bad enough by the end of the first stage. So, there were tire issues. So that's in the back of, Alan's head. Hey, if I don't pit here and we blow a right front, it's going to be blamed on me. So I think he kind of got in his own head and got in his own way. I think he outthought himself. I think he probably tried to be smarter than he needed to be when he could have just played it safe and been okay. But I don't think anything short of him staying out and not taking any tires on that caution does anything for him. I don't think 4 tires changes the outcome. I think staying out helps the most, but even then, like you said, tire wear matters, and you've got guys behind you with 20-lap fresher tires for a 60-lap run. Lap traffic's been an issue all day.
Well, Denny didn't really deal with all that.
Well, he did with Ty.
Not at the end.
No, but if that run goes green,
It did almost go green.
well, there was 13. There
Till
was
Ross track.
14 laps left when the caution came. Well, actually, 15 laps
So
left.
he went
when the caution
35
came.
laps. Denny went 35 laps holding off Christopher Bell.
Sure, and they were
We both agree that Chase Elliott had a better car than Denny Hamlin all day.
on equal tires, but
Yeah.
on 20-lap different tires at the end of a run. How much better would the 9 have been?
But then the 20 would have had to pass the 11 and the 9.
Sure.
And
What-
Chase Elliott, other than the initial start of the race, actually got some pretty damn good starts.
And he did. But everybody did in that outside lane. Even Denny on way older tires.
Well, that last
the
one,
14.
it got really
did.
close.
It did.
Him and Briscoe.
And Briscoe probably, if that was anybody else other than a teammate, he probably would have roughed him up a little bit and
sure.
taken the win. But all I'm saying is I don't know if anything changes the outcome. I know that it was the wrong decision, but I think circumstances and pit strategy just fell in such a way that it hurt him, and there wasn't really a correct decision to make. He just made the worst of the all three kind of tough decisions.
Yeah. And as a crew chief, in my opinion, as a top-tier organization, when you got the best car, that is unacceptable when you make the worst decision.
Sure, but the worst decision still nets you a, what, fifth place finish?
I guess the worst decision would have been taking fuel only. I guess
that would have been dumb. But
2 tires ain't much better.
No,
because
but-
when have we ever seen 2 tires work? Ever.
It does sometimes, but
In this next-gen car. I'm talking about this next-gen car.
What I'm
talking about
saying is,
earlier.
if the worst decision nets you a fifth place finish, which is where I think he finished.
Did he finish? I thought he finished like 7th. Either way, he should have won the race.
Sixth.
6th. Okay.
So the worst decision you can make nets you a sixth place finish, and the best decision you make gets you a third. Is it really that big of a difference? You might as well take a chance, right? That's why I think staying out would have been the best option, because it doesn't really hurt you that much. But
And if Chase gets beat on older tires with leading all day, I can accept that more.
yeah,
Even with 4 tires, you just couldn't quite get there.
I get it. I
But
would
with
be
2
pissed.
tires, it just did not make any sense when you haven't tried it all day. You are, I think, the best car.
And I agree.
No, I can't remember the last time the best car in the race throughout the day took 2 tires. And on top of that, when you only got 3 other guys on the lead lap behind you, and you're not getting to the 2 guys in front of you because they're so far ahead of you.
Yeah. I understand, man. I'm not saying you're wrong.
It just does not make any sense.
I would feel the same way. I get it. But looking at it from the I don't have a horse in the race type, perspective,
Man.
objectively, I don't think it matters in the grand scheme of things. I think this is the scapegoat for just circumstances kind of fucking you on the day.
With 4 tires, do you think Chase Elliott would have struggled past an Austin Dillon on the inside when he was on the outside as much as he did?
Well,
I don't think he did.
Austin was on old tires too.
No, he wasn't. He took 4. He took 4 with Christopher because he was second. He's the one that stayed out with Christopher. He did. I am 100%.
I thought he
confident on
took
that.
2.
No, he took 4. He took 4 with Christopher because they're the only 2. They were first and second, and Chase was way back in third with Denny in 4th
I thought
because they had
took
already
2.
pitted.
But
Chase Elliott, it took him 5, 6, 7, 8 laps to clear Austin Dillon.
Well, Austin did a
with
really good job of holding
but Austin
down.
Dillon had the tire advantage. If Chase Elliott and Austin Dillon are on the equal set of tires, Chase Elliott blows past him on the restart, or maybe a lap after. He don't take 6, 7, 8 laps to clear Austin Dillon. That's my point.
Maybe
that's
not.
What killed Chase Elliott to begin with.
But I don't know
in the run because he eventually started cutting into it a little bit.
Yeah.
Before the Ross Chastain thing hit, and then the 2 tires thing kind of fell off, and Larson's on his ass, and Ross wrecked.
Yeah.
But it infuriates me because that's, like I said, it's about the worst call you could make. Like if you fucking take 3 tires, I don't give a fuck. Take 3 tires on that motherfucker. Take something. Don't take 2. For the best car, it makes no sense for you to take 2. Either take 4 or stay out. And I can live with the result either way. We saw last week Alan Gustafson make a good move, make a good strategy call, and bringing Chase Elliott down pit road running 3rd late in the race, or 4th, whatever it was, at Sonoma. Didn't work out at the end, but he got to the 3rd place finish, where he was before the caution happened. He wasn't going to beat Shane Van Gisbergen on equal tires. They made the right decision last week. You go from that to making the absolute worst call, in my opinion, when you had the best car today. And you don't get those races a lot. And, for you to miss it that bad on the strategy is just mind-boggling to me. And I know I'm a Chase Elliott fan, and I know I'm probably bitching too much, but that's frustrating. I mean, it's like it'd be like Brad pitting at Pocono, not under caution, but him having the best car, and fucking them taking 2 tires when there's only 5 cars on the lead lap, and he, runs third, and then a whole bunch of cautions happens, and he finishes
I get
sixth.
it, brother. I get it.
Like, it just doesn't make any sense.
I had to live through years of Matt McCall. I understand.
Yeah.
I get it. I just don't think that, while I think it was the wrong decision, I don't think it's what lost him the race. I think circumstances just kind of took it from him.
Yeah. Maybe. But we'll never know.
And Chase Elliott sucks. So there's that.
You just had to throw that in there, didn't you? I'll tell you what, though. He led 240-something more laps than your guys did.
Yeah.
Jackass.
Yeah.
But anyways, talking about your guys, all of them, not all of them, but 2 of them are on the playoff cut line. Got 5 races left. Now, to be fair, we were filming this on a Sunday night, so if anybody fails post-race inspection,
Probably going to be Chase Elliott.
it might be. We do not know in advance because we're filming this on a Sunday night and nothing has come out yet. So you come on bitching, Bo Wallace failed post inspection. He's now fucking 20 points below
Chase
Priest.
Elliott is the points leader, by the way.
He is. I guess because Byron wrecked at the end. But 5 races left to go. We got Indy, we got Iowa, we got Watkins Glen, we got Richmond, and we got Daytona. Right? 5 races left. The playoff cut line is still pretty close. You got
16
Bowman.
points.
16. Where's Bowman at?
Bowman is 60. Out of the people that have not won, Tyler Reddick, 156 to the good.
Yeah, he's fine.
He's good. Alex Bowman, 63 to the good.
He's pretty safe.
Looking
I wouldn't
good.
say safe, but he's comfortable.
Chris Buescher, 44 to the good.
Which is way better than he'd been. He was like 20 in the 20s most of the race.
Yeah. So, and then Bubba Wallace, who had a really good day, is 16 to the good, and that is for 16th on the playoff bubble. Ryan Preece, 16 points out, obviously. Kyle Busch, 39, which is still within,
He's making a good effort here.
which within striking distance. Ty Gibbs, 52, which is, I would say, about the last, and that's a long shot, but he's probably the last guy that can point his way in. Then you got Michael McDowell, 77 out. AJ, 80 out.
They're going to have to win.
And the rest of the guys are going to have to win.
Just based off their speed and performance. And, maybe at a road course, maybe Watkins Glen will be the chance for AJ, Ty, and Michael. But, other than that. So, who do you think is... Obviously, we think Tyler Reddick's safe as long as we don't have 4 different winners the next 5 races. Take out Reddick here. You think Bowman is safe?
No, but I don't think he needs to be worried. I think if they run like they should, he'll be fine. He's got... I don't know his average finish at Indy. I don't expect him to be, a world beater this weekend. But I think he'll be good enough to at least maintain. Iowa, same thing. We've got 1 race there. There's really not a notebook. If he runs 10th, 15th, he'll be all right. Watkins Glen, he'll be good. Been really good on road courses this year. You got Richmond, which probably not going to be super good there, but
he's won a race there.
Could win a race. Yeah, he has won a race there. And then you got Daytona, which
crapshoot.
He could win the race. He could finish 50th. Who knows? But I think if he just kind of maintains what he's been doing all year. Doesn't try to do anything special. Doesn't take 2 tires on a pit stop for no reason. Think he'll be all right.
Yeah.
Chris Buescher, not safe.
Should be
But
good
as long
for
as
him.
we don't have 2 random winners, think he's all right.
Iowa is the track that he needs to worry about. Iowa and Richmond. They're very similar tracks. I know he won at Richmond a couple years ago.
But
he
Roush
wasn't great.
Roush is hit or miss there these days.
He was not great at Iowa last year. And he wasn't great at Richmond last year.
And I don't think he was good at Indy last year.
Yeah, I can't remember.
But,
much of that race.
Roush is weird, right? But,
Hit or miss.
they're, race winning speed for a couple weeks, 18th for a couple weeks. Race winning speed for a couple weeks, 18th for a couple weeks.
Watkins Glen, Daytona Daytona's kind of Watkins Glen's
He'll
the
be
only
g-
track to
he'll
where
be
you can feel
good.
safe that he'll be in the top.
He'll
10
be
probably.
good and fast at Daytona. Now, what happens, who knows?
Yeah.
But he'll be competitive. He'll be good there. He'll lead laps if he's not taken out early. He'll be in contention if he's not taken out early at Daytona. Richmond, I would expect a top 10 out of him there.
It's one of his better tracks, but like I said, last
Watkins
year,
Glen, I would expect a top 10 out of him there. Went head-to-head with Shane Van Gisbergen last year and beat him straight up. Iowa, like you said, wasn't great there last year. We don't have a notebook on it. Can't say for sure. But I would expect him to be top 10, 15, have a decent day. And this is all barring circumstance. Obviously, you blow a motor on lap 5. It is what it is. But Indy, I think, is the biggest problem. Now, I know that the Roush cars showed speed on some of the bigger tracks. They were fast at Pocono. They were fast at Michigan. I think Indy's a kind of a different story, though. I know it's, high speed.
He finished 18th there. Chris did.
At Indy?
No, at Richmond last year.
Okay. What about Indy last year? Can you find that for me? Because I don't think they were very good. I know.
Brad almost won the race.
I know Brad
and ran
should
out
have
of
won the
gas.
race. He ran out of gas, but
Well,
that
he
was
shouldn't have won the race, but he had a possible winning strategy.
That was pit strategy, right? It was fuel mileage. I don't think they were fast, if I remember correctly. And Indy's really difficult to pass. It's essentially 4 turn 2s at Pocono, and like I said, Chris was pretty decent at Pocono, but I just
22nd.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time a Roush car was had a chance to legitimately win the race.
Trevor Bayes.
But that was again
fuel strategy.
and everybody wrecked, including him.
Yeah. At the end.
But Roush has historically not been good. I don't know if they've ever won an Indy race.
That's a good point. I don't think they ever.
Not
have.
looking for big things out of him this weekend. Just trying to hope he maintains, maybe because you could flip stages here. It's big enough. Maybe some guys try to flip stage. You score some stage points. Maybe Bubba's not that good, and you gain on the cut line. I think he'll be okay because he's got some tracks that he'll be good at. Watkins Glen, and Daytona. And hopefully Richmond, Iowa, and Indy, I think, are the ones that are going to give him the most trouble. But I think the cars are good enough. I think he's good enough to do it on points if there's not 2 winners. But to be fair, he's close enough to Bowman that if Bowman has a bad week, he might leapfrog Bowman. So I think he'll be fine as long as he doesn't get in wrecks. He's just got to do what he's been doing all year, and
18th at Iowa last year,
and just
so 18th, 22nd.
Which I don't know if that's good enough.
No, it will not be.
I'll say this: it's dependent on Ryan Preece.
Peace.
Because I understand Ryan Preece is behind Chris Buescher right now in points, but Ryan Preece on average is just as fast as him. He has been all year. You got to remember, Ryan Preece lost a second place.
Yeah, but he's
Ryan Preece lost
56-point gap to Preece right now.
Ryan Preece lost a second place finish. He lost 40 points. He lost 40 points in one race that he should have had from a disqualification. Ryan Preece has been there. And I'm not saying he's better than Chris. I'm not saying he should be, knocking down the door. But I think Ryan Preece has a better chance to be fast at Iowa. I think Ryan Preece has a really good shot at being fast at Richmond. Ryan Preece has been just as good.
He's a modified guy. Modified guys, one of their biggest races is Richmond.
He's been just as good as Chris on the road courses, for the past couple weeks.
Well, that's because Chris pretty much blew him.
He qualified second at Mexico and ran top 10 all day.
That's fair.
And then Daytona. He could win that race, no problem. So I think it's going to come down to it because I don't think Kyle Busch is going to be consistent enough. I don't think Ty Gibbs is going to be consistent enough. It's going to come down to Bubba, Chris, and Preece. And any one of those guys could win any week.
Yeah.
And, I know Bubba hadn't showed race-winning speed at all this year. The Roush cars have been hit or miss on race-winning speed. But if Bubba went out and won this week, I would not be surprised. If Chris went out and won, any of the next few weeks, I would not be surprised. If Ryan Preece went out and won the next couple weeks, I would not be surprised. Now, I won't be surprised if none of them do and they all have to point their way in. But it's going to come down to Daytona, I think. And I think it's going to be a really, really interesting Daytona race when we get down there because I think it's going to be
I'll be there.
Real close between those three.
Yeah.
And, I think Chris will be the one with the lead going in. I think it's going to come down to Bubba or Preece on, where stage points and, what happens at the end. Because, those guys might go into it and who knows? And then at that point, fucking Brad Keselowski wins the race.
Kicks one of them out. So I think it's going to be super interesting to follow this cut line. I know there's not a lot of guys that are going to be, within striking distance as far as points go. But when you get down to Daytona and, you got guys back there like Michael Dowell, who's won the Daytona 500. You got guys like Eric Jones, who's pretty decent super speedway racer. You got guys like Ricky Stenhouse, not won yet, Zane Smith, Carson Hocevar, Brad Keselowski, Austin Dillon, Justin Haley, Todd Gilliland, Noah Gragson. These are guys that no one would be surprised if they won the Daytona race. And they're all lurking. So who knows? I know it's a long-winded way of saying who knows what's going to happen. But that's why these next 4 races are going to be super important for Chris if he doesn't win one to build as many points as possible so he's not the guy on the cut line. Like he was last year. Yeah. Yeah, well said. Reddick's fine as long as we don't have a whole bunch of new winners the next 5 weeks. Bowman, he's starting to get back on the right track. He had a rough little early or late spring, early summer stretch. He's been able to get it back together to his early season form where he was competing for the regular season championship lead. I think Bowman's good as long as they just don't fall apart. I agree with you. I think it's going to come down to Chris, Bubba, Preece, and maybe Kyle Busch. I don't know if I can trust Kyle right now. I think it's kind of not set in stone. That's a wrong way of saying it, but I really think it will come down between Chris and Bubba and Preece. And we've seen good races out of Bubba. We've seen good races out of Preece. We've seen bad races out of Bubba and bad races out of Preece. So, it just comes down to who can have the least amount of bad finishes these next 5 weeks. Because any of these guys can win at Daytona. I could see Bubba going out there and winning, Richmond. He was very good there a couple of years ago when Chris won. He's been very solid at Richmond the past couple of years. Toyota's been really good at Richmond the past couple of years. So I could see Chris and Preece winning there as well. So, it's just about of doing the least amount of damage to your point situation because, 5 races left. I still think we could have 2 different winners. Daytona's the big one. But Iowa is the other big one.
I agree.
Because we've only been there one time. And it's such not a wild card, but we just don't have a whole lot of notebook here. Blaney won there last year, but you don't know what you're going to get there. And you don't know what team is going to pull the right strategy at the right time and find themselves in a position to win the race there. Anybody could really win Iowa.
Kyle Busch.
Kyle Busch.
The 54.
Yes. Like, it's going to come down to who can have the least amount of bad finishes these next 5 weeks if you cannot win a race. I'm hoping Chris can win a race. I'm hoping he can at Watkins Glen or Richmond or
I hope
Daytona.
he wins the next 5 of them.
That's fine. I'd take it. But obviously they don't feel safe because of all the guys that you mentioned that could win Daytona. Austin Dillon, Brad Keselowski, Justin Haley, Zane Smith, Michael McDowell. All those guys can win a super speedway race easily. By almost, I wouldn't say almost anybody, but pretty much anybody could win the Daytona race if you play the cards right and you have enough. You put yourself in position, you save enough fuel, and you get out there to the front the last couple laps, and you've got a good chance of winning the race.
Justin Haley won one with, under rain conditions a couple years back.
Yeah. So
who says Cody Ware doesn't pull the same strategy this year and it start raining?
Harrison Burton won last year, and we know nobody had that on anybody's bingo card last year. So, anything can happen. But if I'm Tyler Reddick, I'm safe. I feel pretty safe. If I'm Bowman, I feel pretty safe the way they've been going the past couple of weeks. It's just going to come down between Chris, Bubba.
What do you mean? They've been in a free fall.
Who?
Bowman. Not Bowman. You said Bowman. Motherfucker.
You all right?
I'm having a strunk.
Yeah, happens a lot. But yeah, I think those 3 guys are the main guys to look out for, because I think we'll have at least one new winner, maybe 2. And if that comes down to that, then Chris is out. If you have 2 different winners and it's not Chris, you have Brad win at Daytona, and Chris gets kicked out because he doesn't beat Bowman in points. So this thing is far from over. I think it's going to be an interesting run to the finish. And we got 2 short tracks, 2 very similar short tracks. I think if you're good at Iowa, you should be pretty good at Richmond. So that'll be a telltale sign to see, if you're good at Iowa, you should be pretty good at Richmond. I know circumstances determine a lot of stuff. But
They race in Iowa on Saturday or Sunday?
Sunday, I believe. And then, Indy is his own beast. Watkins Glen, road course, and then Daytona is the biggest wild card in itself. So this thing's far from over. If you ain't got to win, you're feeling very nervous, other than if you're Reddick. And should be a fun, not a fun time because we're Chris fans, but it should be interesting stretch for the playoff bubble guys. Because if you don't win, shut up. If you don't win, you might have to in these next 5 weeks to feel secure in making the 2025 NASCAR playoffs.
Ordered up 100 roses and I feel like blah.
All right, Riley, what's up?
Whipping Maserati.
What's up? What's up, Riley? What's up next on the docket there, Mr. Embree?
Well, apparently Rick Ware and Legacy Motorclub are just throwing lawsuits willy-nilly at one another.
It's just lawsuit season in NASCAR.
It is. It's crazy. I think Eric said it best. We're not legal experts, but we're going to be because of how many lawsuits
If you're a
we're having to
NASCAR
cover.
fan these days, you got to learn how to be a legal expert.
Yeah. So very, very complicated and very, very difficult to understand issues are going on in the Cup Series garage right now, based on these charter agreements. Obviously, you've got the front row and 2311 stuff going on, which we'll talk about in a minute. But you've also got this Legacy Motor Club Rick Ware situation, which is also going to affect RFK going on as well. And there's been some new lawsuits filed in that. Legacy was already suing Rick Ware prior to this week because they feel like they have breached a contract to sell the number 27 charter. Now, when they say the 27 charter, that doesn't mean the 27 car. Obviously, there isn't a 27 car that runs in the Cup Series.
Are you sure Paul Menard ain't racing no more?
But all the charters are numbered 1 through 36.
What do the first charter is?
It's whoever. It's
Hendrick or Gibbs?
It's the 12 team, is it not?
12.
Yeah,
Go 12.
Or not the 12, the 22. Wouldn't he be charter number 1 because he won the championship and they're ranked based on their championship
how they do it? Okay.
finishing position? Pretty sure that's how it's done.
Yeah, probably.
But anyways, so the number 27 charter is Legacy has been alleging for the past couple months during their first lawsuit that there is an agreement for that charter to be sold to them.
Which would be
the charter that the 60 car is
60.
using.
Yeah, about to say.
Because it's been leased to Roush. Roush is paying Rick Ware to be able to use that charter every week in the 60 car. So Legacy says, hey, that charter's supposed to be ours next year. Rick Ware has countersued saying, no, you're wrong. That charter is going to be sold to you in 2027. Now, there's this new guy that used to work at Legacy, or that brokered some deals for Legacy, that started Spire, this
Phil
Pusher.
Yeah, Phil Pusher.
gentleman who has bought Rick Ware Racing, saying in the public sphere that he has purchased both of Rick Ware's charters for the 51 car and for the charter that is being used on the 60 car, that number 27 charter in question, which is a violation of what Rick Ware has said in court during the proceedings between them and Legacy. Rick Ware has said that they're not going to sell these charters at all. They have zero plans to sell the number 27 charter. They said that in court. However, they've just sold the number 27 charter
Yeah, to another guy.
and the charter for the 51 car, whatever it is, probably the 36th charter, to this guy, which Legacy is saying is a violation. So guess what? They're suing him again. So they've got 2 open lawsuits going now against Rick Ware. Rick Ware's got one going back the other direction. But this is
Ridiculous.
It's ridiculous, number one. And number two, it's not good for me because depending on how these lawsuits get, worked out, Roush might be out of a charter.
Might be an open team next year for that 60 car.
And that's not good.
Real quick, do you think if that happened, do you think Brad would step out of the car and let Priest run the six next year?
I think
next year.
What I think would happen is if Roush had to go back down to 2 charters, if they couldn't find one to buy, I think they would try to find one to buy. If they couldn't find one to buy, I think they would still field the 3 cars. I think the 2 chartered teams would be the 17 and the 60, and I think Brad would race an open car.
And run part-time?
I think he'd still run full-time, but I think he would run the open car. But
Yeah, maybe if they can afford it. I mean, sure.
But I don't know. It's not good. It's not good for Roush. I'm not.
Damn, I'm just a Chris Buescher fan.
Yeah,
Fuck the rest of them.
I'm not optimistic for Roush to be able to keep that charter. Hopefully they can find one on the open market for sale. Hopefully NASCAR introduces some more charters. But this is the main reason that I dislike the charter system. Now, again, I understand why it's good for teams to have charters, and I understand why it's good for the sport, but there's also a drawback to it. And the drawback to it is Brad Keselowski wants to go racing with 4 cars, 3 cars, 2 cars. He should be able to bring cars to the track and profit off of it. He should be able to. And the fact that he can't, I think, is a problem. It's not what NASCAR is. I think one of the biggest problems in F1, and F1 fans, if you're watching, are probably going to disagree with this and probably say that's one of the things that make F1 good, is the exclusivity of it. The fact that Michael Andretti and the Andretti family have been trying for years to get into F1, and they keep getting shot down and keep getting, having to jump through hoops, and it's almost impossible to field a car in F1. I think that's a bad thing. And I think the fact that NASCAR has a similar, it's not as severe, but has a similar barrier to entry now with the charter system, it's not good. It used to be if me and Trent had, $1 million or $2,
Boy, I wish.
and we wanted to go down and field a NASCAR Cup team, we could do it. Think about Alan Kowicki. 1992 wins a championship with a team he started himself.
Yeah.
And he drove the car himself. He wouldn't be able to do that. One of the greatest stories in NASCAR history, the Underbird, right? Could not happen today because of the charter system. You've got, most of these teams wouldn't exist right now if the charter system would have been around 20, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Hendrick wouldn't be here. Roush probably wouldn't be here. Penske may be, right, because he started with money. But
RCR probably would.
RCR, I don't know. RCR drove his own car for a long time. He was a bad backmarker team. He was a field filler. They had to, when in whatever year it was where they had the strike at Talladega, they had to let him in.
4?
Yeah, they had to let him in. He was one of the cars that they allowed to run the race, even though he was in a different class to fill the field.
Might have been the 70s.
And, none of these... I don't know if any of these teams exist the way they exist now if the charter system was around in the heyday of NASCAR.
Joe Gibbs wouldn't be around. He didn't start doing it till the 90s.
Yeah, so, I think this is showing why the charter system is not perfect. Now, I understand, like I said, that the teams want these charters because they can sell them and profit when they don't want to be around anymore.
And you lose money every year
But
as a team.
But NASCAR has never been like stick and ball sports. You don't.
It's almost like a salary cap.
Racing is not a stick and ball sport.
Yeah.
There's an old saying, I know I've said it 100 times on this podcast, I'll probably say it 100 times more.
At least.
You know how you make a millionaire out of a race team?
Start with $1 billion.
You start with $1 billion. You don't get into racing to make money. It's a passion. Now, I get it. You need to be able to make money to continue going, but that's not why Jack Roush got into racing. That's not why Rick Hendrick started Hendrick Motorsports. That's not why Penske started Penske. That's not why any of these teams started their teams. They started it for the love of the game. And now it's teams suing teams because the charter's being loaned out here and, breach of contract this and breach of contract that. And, oh, that's my charter. You told me I could have it. I've got it in paper here. And, well, I can't race this week because I don't have the charter. Or is Legacy Motorclub going to get this charter? Can Roush field the car? Are they going to make enough money to field the car? Is 2311 going to field the car because they're suing NASCAR? Like, it takes away from the sport.
Yeah.
And it's not good. And it's not what NASCAR is. And, you can sit there and tell me I'm the get off my lawn old guy that, the boomer that just doesn't, not going to change with the times. And that might be true. But
the new age race fan ain't going to agree with you.
Yeah, it's not what I grew up with. I grew up with every week.
Car?
Yeah, every week you had a guy show up with a car that he built in his garage and you wanted to see how good he would do.
Yeah.
And you had a guy that would, every now and again that would show up with his own stuff and be competitive. You had an Alan Kowicki that started his own race team from nothing and won the damn championship.
Ray Evernham.
Well,
left Hendrick. And
Evernham had a lot of money from Dodge to do that. But
but he went out on his own
and did it.
And
did it. And
had a great thing at Hendrick, and he said, I'm going to do it myself.
With the charter system, you're just never going to see that. And you would probably never see it anyway just because racing's so expensive.
And people are going to say, well, Denny Hamlin did it with 2011. That's because, damn, Michael Jordan got more money than God. I mean, that's main.
Yeah,
it's
he
the
had
main
he had a
reason.
lot of help from Michael Jordan. He also has a lot of help from Joe Gibbs. And a lot of help from Toyota.
Yeah.
Like, he's got partners. You used to be able to just go buy a fucking car, go buy a chassis, build a body, go rent a motor from Hendrick. If you had a couple $100,000 just laying around, say, hey, Hendrick, here's, give me an old motor.
That's what Stuart Haas did
And
when they first started. Tony Stewart, Gene Haas, they
You
said,
show
we're
up and-
not competitive. Let's go get Hendrick motors.
you do it. But you never see that anymore, and it's unfortunate. And eventually, I think what NASCAR is going to end up turning into is kind of what F1 is, and that's just like, you're in.
Well, you're not.
If you're gonna race, you got to have 2 cars, and we're gonna race 36 cars, and that's it. You have to race every week, or you don't race at all. You got 36 cars. Every team's got 2, and there we go. That's eventually what it's going to turn into because of shit like this.
Yeah, it's just disappointing, man. You don't want NASCAR to turn into law car, and that's what we're kind of turning into. It's just so many, 2311 front row NASCAR and the charter thing. Now we got 23 or front row Legacy and Rick Ware Racing doing all this back and forth bullshit, and it just creates a mess. It creates a mess that is not necessary. I get Legacy, wanting to expand. They've had a pretty good year this year. Got 2 cars that can possibly, not very likely, but could possibly make the playoffs this year. Been way better this year than they have been in years past, especially the first year with Toyota. And, you got Dodge coming in hopefully coming in the sport here in the next couple of years. I'm sure they're the first team to kind of jump on the Dodge bandwagon and try to be the main team there at Dodge. They're trying to get charters, and then Rick Ware Racing, they don't know what they want to do, but then you got Phil, Rick Ware sells his team to Phil Pusher, and he says he wants to fill 3 cars soon and be competitive, and how much truth that is to that, but it just creates a mess, and it's not what NASCAR is. Should never be what NASCAR should ever be about. Is teams suing teams over charters, and if you bring a car, you can race with, and you've got good enough people to set up the car, and bring it out and race it. You got a good driver and crew chief and pit crew to compete. You should be able to do that, and nowadays it's just not feasible anymore. So that's the frustrating part. I don't know really where this Legacy and Rick Ware thing goes. This could get as messy, if not more messy, than the 2311 and front row versus NASCAR lawsuit. I don't know where it really goes. I can't really predict what's going to happen. It doesn't look good, though, for Rick Ware Racing, considering they sold their team off to another guy saying he wants to have 3 charters one day and be competitive, when Legacy, clearly they had an agreement. It's just they're arguing over when that
26 or 27.
Yeah, over when that agreement was done and when it should happen, and it's a mess that shouldn't come to fruition, and unfortunately it has. And we got too much background noise in NASCAR right now that I wouldn't say the racing is great, but it's good enough to where we've gotten several new fans the past several years. And, if you cheer for an Eric Jones, for Cody Ware, for a Ryan Preece, that right now RFK is leasing that charter from Rick Ware, you don't want to see your favorite driver not be able to compete because of a charter disagreement or dispute. And, that can drive fans away. I mean, we saw the NBA with the bargaining agreement and the mess with China and all that stuff. Like, it drove fans away. It drove me away. Like, I didn't care about that. I don't care about that. And it's just it's unnecessary. And I get that there's a lot of money in the sport. That's good. You want NASCAR charters and NASCAR teams to be worth a lot. But there's a different way of handling it, and this has gone the complete opposite way of how it should have gone. I'm not saying Legacy is in the wrong. I'm not saying Rick Ware Racing is in the wrong, but it's not good. We already got one big lawsuit on our hands. We don't need another one. We don't want to know who's going to be able to field what cars next year in 2026 if you got a new fan that hooked on to a Eric Jones because he's, they're from Michigan and he's from Michigan, and you were a Jimmy Johnson fan growing up, and Jimmy Johnson now owns that team, and you just don't want that. It just creates a mess, and it's not good, and I wish we could get this shit resolved soon, but I'm afraid that it's going to be just as time consuming and monotonous. What's that word? Monotonous as the 2311 front row and NASCAR lawsuit. We'll see how it goes, but it's not a good look for NASCAR, and we should be talking about other stuff other than these lawsuits, but unfortunately that's what we're talking about, and I don't see it changing. I don't see it getting resolved anytime soon, so we'll just have to see how the legal system decides how this goes, and that's another thing. I don't want the court to decide which team can race how many cars starting 2026, 2027, and beyond. And unfortunately, that's what we got ourselves into with several lawsuits. So, money is the root of all evil, and it's proven itself once again. So we'll just see how it goes. But I hate that NASCAR has, like you said, I agree with almost everything you said. You don't want NASCAR to come down to money and cents in this situation. I want it to come down to sponsors, to drivers, not to. Who can
build the best piece? Who can put the best driver in that piece?
And who can drive it the most? Yes, exactly. I want that to be more of a determining factor on who races win and who wins what, and who has many teams as what.
That's the argument, people have had with sports forever is like, baseball doesn't have a salary cap. And that's why the Dodgers are always going to be good, and the Mets are going to be good for, the most part. The Yankees are going to be good for the most part.
And the Reds and the Rockies are going to suck.
Yeah, because they just don't have the money that these big teams have. And, once the money's there, you're never going to be able to get it out, right? Yeah. So, you're kind of just stuck with what it is. But, I don't have the solution, and, you're not supposed to complain about something unless you have the solution for it. But, I want Rick Ware to be able to build a car, which they don't build the cars anymore, but I want Rick Ware to be able to build a competitive car and put a competitive driver in it and go out and win. I want that opportunity for them to be there. I want Billy and Joe down the street to be able to build a car and put a driver in it and go compete if they want to. I want Jeremy Clements to be able to put a car together and go run if he wants to. I want that type of stuff to happen. You used to have those type of stories, and you just don't anymore. And the reason you don't is A, it's too expensive, and B, you don't make any money doing it because all the big teams that have charters are the ones making the money. Even if me and Trent had $100 million and we just said, you know what? We're building a car. We're paying somebody to go get in it, and we have the best car on the track, and we have the best driver on the track, and we go out and we win every race. We're still going to make sense compared to everybody else because we don't have a charter.
Yeah.
Even if we're the best out there.
Yeah.
Just because there's not a charter for sale. Or because we couldn't find one. Or because nobody wanted to sell us one. Or, whatever. We could go out, win every race, win the championship, and we would still make less money because we don't have a charter. And that's ridiculous to me. This isn't the NFL. Never has been, never will be. This isn't the MLB. This isn't the NBA. This isn't anything. This is racing. And racing has always been show up at the racetrack, put a driver in your car, and go out and do it. No matter who you are, where you come from. That's the way racing has always been, and it is in every other series except NASCAR in America. I could show up right now at any short track tomorrow with a car and a driver, pay my entry fee, and go out and race and make just as much money as everybody else that's been there for 100 years. And you can't do it in NASCAR anymore. And I think that's wrong, and I think this is part of my reasoning for that. It's too complicated for the fans to keep up with. It's too complicated for the teams to keep up with, obviously, because Legacy Motorclub doesn't know when they're supposed to be getting the charter. Rick Ware doesn't know when they're supposed to be getting the charter. They don't even...
RFK don't know when their lease is up.
Yeah, like they don't... There's just so much...
That's another thing, too. Like, it'd be... You would think that RFK would step in and be like, hey, Rick Ware said we could lease this charter up until 2026 or 2027. They ain't said shit.
And they're going to be fucked.
Yeah.
And they're going to be fucked. There's nothing... If the court says, hey, starting at the Clash at Bowman Gray in February of 2026, Legacy Motor Club will own the number 27 charter, Roush is fucked. Nothing they can do. Nothing they can say. There's no lawsuit they can file.
Well,
it's done and over with. It is what it is. And that's taking money out of Roush's pocket when they've got nothing to do with it.
yeah.
When you could just say, hey, bring what you want, put the driver in the car that you want, go out there and race, and let the best man win. Now, sure, are you going to get Jimmy Johnson winning 7 championships? Yeah, but guess when NASCAR was more popular? When Jimmy Johnson was winning 7 championships.
Yeah.
You have to have a fucking villain. You have to have somebody to root against. You don't have that nowadays because there's all this...
Same shit.
Yeah, everybody's driving the same shit. There's no guy that wins every week. Now, granted, the big teams still win more often than not because they have more engineers and they can do better research on, finding half a tenth over the run.
Yeah.
But, it's just not what I grew up doing. It's not what I grew up watching. It's
like college football to us.
Yeah, it's not.
If you want to go to the school you wanted to go to,
yeah.
You went to that school just for the love or just whatever recruiting. If you thought this was the best place for me, for me to be able to get in the NFL, it's not that anymore.
Money ruins everything.
To a degree, it's money. How much NIL am I getting? How much can I support my family?
Yeah, when you got Auburn offering, Lenore Sellers under the table millions and millions of dollars.
Yeah, $8, $9, $10 million
to go, back on his commitment.
Of saying he's going to go play at South Carolina.
But, that's...
Same thing with Cade Klubnik. I mean, it's the same thing. Teams offered him to leave Clemson. And, at least we have some guys that are still loyal, but it's few and far between. That's
a different argument, but it's the same thing. It's money ruining the sports that we love. And, that's why, for me, NASCAR and college football are my 2 favorite sports, at least, up until this point, is because as far as college football went, yeah, I mean, obviously, guys got paid, right? Jadeveon Clowney probably made some money at South Carolina, right? Deshaun Watson probably made some money at Clemson, right? I'm not naive to that fact, right? There was some breaking of the rules that happened. But for the most part, Deshaun Watson went to Clemson because he wanted to go to Clemson.
Yeah.
And Jadeveon Clowney went to South Carolina because he wanted to go to South Carolina. You don't have that very much anymore. You've got the same thing in NASCAR where, you know, maybe Roush wants to run a fourth car. Maybe they want to put Zane Smith in it. Maybe they want to put a guy in the Busch series or the Xfinity series in it. Maybe there's a guy in the late model they want to put in a car. Maybe there's a guy in the truck series they want to put in a car, and they just can't.
Yeah.
And it's because of money. And money ruins everything, man. I mean, you need it, but it
shouldn't control the world.
But it does.
In a degree. I agree. And real quick, we'll talk about the 2311 front row and NASCAR thing. NASCAR took their charters from 2311 and front row like we kind of expected.
They ran as open cars today at Dover.
Ran as open cars today at Dover.
We'll do again at Indy.
Yeah, they'll probably do it for a while. And 2311 front row tried to get a injunction to run as a chartered teams, and it didn't work. Denied. So they're paying as open teams right now. And I think they'll probably run it out the rest of the year. I don't see them not.
But they did do what I said last week. NASCAR is not allowed to sell the charters.
Yeah, that's true. So we'll just see how it goes. But do you see 2311 in front row collapsing?
No.
With this decision? Because
no,
like you said, it costs a lot more money to run open teams and open cars.
2311, no, because they have backing from Joe Gibbs and they have backing from Toyota.
Front row is a tier 1 organization in Ford.
They got backing from Ford. I don't see either of them having, now you can still make money. Like you can still be profitable, right? But budgets are going to be a little bit tighter, and it's especially because I think there's a light at the end of the tunnel. I do think 2311. I do think front row are going to win the lawsuit in the long run. I do think that, but I think it's just going to be a little bit tighter for them because they're not going to get the proceeds that they normally would.
If they win the lawsuit, they'll get all this money back in damages anyway.
Probably, but I don't think it's going to change much on track. I think we won't see a difference. You didn't see a difference today. The one issue that you're going to run into is if you've got, say, for example, Daytona. If you've got 41 cars that show up to Daytona, and maybe one of the front row cars has a wrecks in practice, or blows a motor in qualifying, or whatever, maybe just has a slow lap and they qualify 41st, they don't make the field.
Yeah. And
there's nothing you can do about it. And again, that's the way NASCAR should have been. I hated the provisional back in the day. I hated being top 35 in points. You're guaranteed a starting position. I hated that shit. I think if Jeff Gordon showed up, I don't care if he'd won every race up to fucking Homestead. If he showed up to Homestead and qualified 44th, he shouldn't be in the race. That's just the way I look at it. Like, I don't care who you are. If you can't qualify, you can't qualify. It is what it is.
Yeah.
And that's the way the Indy 500 is, and that's why I think Indy 500 qualifying is the most entertaining thing in motorsports. Not really the most entertaining, but one of the most entertaining things, because
Alex Palou could wreck in qualifying and he'd be fucked.
Joseph Newgarden, if they fuck it up, they're just not racing. It is what it is. There's no question about it. You're just not going to race if you don't qualify. There's no question. You have to bring a good enough car and a good enough driver to make the race. And that's why the Indy 500 is such a difficult race to win, is because it's even difficult just to get there. It's difficult to even qualify for the motherfucker, much less win it. So when you show up to the racetrack and you're guaranteed a starting position just because you have more money than somebody, that's ridiculous. And I think that's where 2311 and front row will run into a problem. The good news about it is There's only been 2 races this year with more than 40 cars, and that was the Daytona 500 and Chicago. And before that,
2018.
there hadn't been another race other than the Daytona 500 where a car didn't make the race since 2018. So I think they'll be okay, but you never know. You never know. Hell, you might show up to Daytona and have the 33 show up with Austin Hill, very likely. The Beard Motorsports car might show up. That's 38. You get 2 or 3 more, or you get 3 more.
Jimmy Johnston when he races.
Yeah, there's I wouldn't say a likelihood, but there's a possibility where there is at least one more race this year where there's a car that doesn't make it. And if one of those cars has a problem and doesn't make the race, that's really going to hurt the bottom line. So that's the only thing I can see being an issue going forward until the lawsuit as a whole gets settled.
Yeah. I agree with everything you said. It's just it's frustrating because 2311 made the Final Four last year with Tyler Reddick, and you could see a possibility where Tyler Reddick could miss a race. I don't see it happening, but I don't know. I don't think it affects them like you said. I really don't think it affects them too much in the short run. But the money lost from all this could add up, especially if they don't win the lawsuit. Then what do? If they don't win the lawsuit in December, then they're running as open teams, and if they got to buy charters. I could see 2311 buying a charter or 2. But front row, Bob Jenkins might buy 1 if they can afford it. But you're losing a lot of money there, and technically that'd be good for you for RFK, because then RFK could clearly have a buyer, or NASCAR would have a buyer for RFK to buy one of those charters from 2311 and front row if they lose this lawsuit agreement. But I know Denny Hamlin he said pretty confidently that all things will come to you'll be able to see the true stuff in December, and it'll all come to fruition, and it'll all come to a head. But if it doesn't, it's a lot of money that both these teams are losing, and it's hard to make up a lot of that money. I get Michael Jordan, like I said, he's got tons of money, but I'm worried about front row in this situation because they're a stable organization in the NASCAR Cup Series in the modern day. And I don't know if they can afford to buy 3 new charters if they lose this lawsuit agreement. I don't know if 2311 will buy 3 whole charters, buy the 3 charters back if they lose this lawsuit in December. So, again, it's just kind of another messy thing that we got to get through. And I don't see it affecting it really at all in the short run, because Tyler Reddick makes the playoffs. He still gets the purse money for making the playoffs. And if Bo Wallace can win a race and make the playoffs, he'll still get the money for making the playoffs. Front row, they don't have a car in the playoffs right now, but if they can win a race with Zane Smith or Noah Gragson or Todd Gilliland, then they'll still make the money for the playoffs. But it's still a lot of money to lose, and I don't know. I wish that.
I wish it was based on merit again.
Yeah.
Based on money.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you on that one. But we'll just have to see. But, I hate that, especially not a top tier, but close to a top tier organization in 2311 is not put in a situation, because they kind of did it themselves by not signing the agreement last year with the rest of the teams. But it's just kind of weird seeing that Tyler Reddick is running as an open team when he's one of the top 7, 8 drivers in the sport. It's weird, and we'll just have to see how it goes. But overall, I hope it doesn't affect them too much, because I want 2311 and I want front row to stay in the sport. I think they're good for the sport, especially 2311, based off Michael Jordan and his fans and his popularity. that is driving more fans and more supporters to NASCAR over these past couple of years to mainstream media because that helps NASCAR. You know, you need publicity in your sport, and you need some buzz going around in your sport. And this is some buzz, but it's the wrong kind of buzz. You know, if 2311 just decides, Michael Jordan says, you know what, fuck this shit. If they lose in December, the lawsuit case, they lose in December, and Michael Jordan's like, I don't want to do this no more. Fuck NASCAR. You know, it hurts the sport, and I hope NASCAR realizes that in the long run. I don't want a team overriding the majority base of NASCAR and the sanctioning body, but you know, it hurts the sport if Michael Jordan just says, fuck it, I'm not doing this no more. This is bullshit. I don't want to be a part of this sport no more. It hurts NASCAR as far as popularity goes, and you know, NASCAR wants to be all about fucking TV ratings and, you know, who watches what and who shows up to the races. That'll hurt the sport in the long run. So it could get messy. It could get bad for them next year if NASCAR does win the lawsuit as far as, you know, 2011 goes. But we'll just have to see. But I can't wait for this all to be settled. But it's going to be weird to see that, you know, randomly at Richmond that, you know, we got 42 cars in the field and Tyler Reddick wrecks in qualifying. He don't make the race. It's kind of weird. And I don't necessarily have a problem with it, but it's not healthy for the sport for a lot of Tyler Reddick fans because they won't watch the race. Guarantee you they won't watch the race on that race day if that happens. So hope it gets resolved in December, and you know, it'd be interesting to see if 2311 in Front Row does win the lawsuit. How does that affect the other teams in the sport? You know, do they piggyback off what 2311 and Front Row was asking for, or do they kind of?
Well, they would have to, because if 2311 and if 2311 Front Row win the lawsuit, that would be the court saying that NASCAR is using monopolistic practices in their company, which means they would have to change their practices and their policies, which would affect everybody. Yeah. So it would affect it for everyone.
It's like giving two people a raise because they were bitching about how much they work and not giving the other people the raise. Kind of like that.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to do that, right?
Yeah.
You wouldn't be able to just, like, if we owned a company and we were being sued because we were, you know, discriminating against people because, hey, we don't hire you unless you're under 6 foot tall. Anybody above 6 foot tall can get hired, but anybody above it, we're not hiring you.
Yeah.
You know, the guy that sues us because he's 6'1" and doesn't get the job, yeah, maybe we have to pay him or give him a job. But that doesn't mean that the next guy that's 6'1" we don't hire, right? Yeah. We would have to hire the next guy if he was qualified. So whenever the courts impose something, say, hey, you're doing this wrong, you have to start doing it this way, that affects everybody.
Yeah.
Regardless of if you're involved in the lawsuit or not. So that was a terrible example, but you know, it's the one I came up with.
Yeah, you're good. All right. Well, hit that button.
Ripping the topics.
Ripping
the topics. About to hit the next motherfucking beating him.
Are you on some hot naysayer?
A choopy on some hot. Like I told you, she when he shot.
Didn't he go to jail for this song?
He went to jail because he killed someone.
Yeah, but it wasn't based off. He kind of admitted it on this song.
I think it was a different song. But
was it? Okay.
This was a bop back in the day.
We see on some hot. What? Anyways, RTT this week. In-season tournament championship. We got the Battle of the Ties.
These are grown men.
Yeah.
Their names are Tyler.
No, they're Ty. Ty Dillon, the last seed in the whole damn tournament, has made it to the championship race. And Ty Gibbs, the 6th seed, has made it to the championship as well. On the other side of the bracket at Indy this weekend, man.
Give me Ty Dillon.
Fine, you finally on my bandwagon,
Well,
boy.
This is what I'm saying. Ty Gibbs hit or miss. Ty Dillon will fucking wreck you. He showed it last week.
He ain't gonna wreck you. He'll move you. Kind of hard to move somebody at Indy, though.
And I like Ty Dillon more than I like Ty Gibbs. So, they're probably both. We've said this a couple times throughout this. They'll probably be racing for 20th, but
Ty Gibbs is pretty good here lately.
he's hit or miss. But give me Ty Gibbs. Hopefully, or Ty Dillon. Hopefully, Ty Dillon wrecks.
Ty Dillon Rex?
Fucking
Ty Gibbs.
I want the 10 car to win, whatever his fucking name is.
There you go.
Hopefully, the 54 don't win.
Scott Riggs?
Yes. But
Johnny Benson.
yes.
You know, he won a race at Rockingham.
Rockingham, yeah.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did. But
The infamous one
there was two.
stat
There
that
was
you
another
got
one.
right.
There
Which
was another
What
one.
was the other one?
That Rusty Wallace drove a Pontiac.
Did I disagree with you?
Yes,
on
you
that
did.
Oh.
Drove a Pontiac when he first started. And you said, no, he didn't.
one? I was probably drunk.
No, you were sober as a saint.
What's that?
I don't.
New Orleans?
Probably not. But
New Orleans? What the fuck you
who dat?
What are you trying to say?
I'm smarter than you.
Of course.
But
You're always right and I'm always wrong. And
usually,
check the scoreboard there, buddy.
again, blind squirrel, nut. I'm still
It's
up.
hard to find a blind squirrel and a
I'm up.
nut.
I'm up 2-1.
I like the nut.
I'm up 2-1 on the yearly
It's about to be 2-2.
the championship.
Oh, God, 2-2. Fuck Joe Logano.
But anyways, yeah, give me Ty Dillon. Just kind of hoping, the 54 will be faster, but they're hit or miss. It wouldn't surprise me if they showed up and just missed it. That team's not been great. They have been better, like you said, but and they should be better this weekend. But Ty Dillon has showed up a couple weeks and had some pretty decent runs, top 15, runs, and I think that might get it done. So, we'll see. I think Ty Gibbs is the favorite.
For sure.
But I'm gonna I might look on DraftKings and
You can't bet DraftKings if you're in the state of South Carolina.
I'm gonna look on something.
Underdog.
Yeah, I'll look on something and see if I can find some good odds.
Prize picks.
Find some good odds on Ty Dillon because I
South
might
Carolina
put
is-
some money on them hoes.
The state of South Carolina is stupid. I'm about to say something else. It is won't allow us.
They are very conservative. Gambling is of the devil. Don't do it.
Yeah, apparently.
It says it in the Bible. Don't do it.
Yeah, well, it does. Yeah, I'm going to pick Ty this weekend to win the championship. Obviously,
I think
want,
you're wrong.
I think. Obviously, I want Ty Dillon to win because fuck Joe Gibbs Racing and fuck Toyota. But Ty Gibbs should have a better car. He should probably run top 12, top 15, and Ty Dillon will probably run 25th and 30th. But hoping Ty Gibbs will wreck or something like that, and Ty Dillon can sneak out the most Mickey Mouse tournament championship ever. That's the last seed to make it in and win the in-season tournament. That'd be a hell of a story. And this makes their season. Because they're not going to make the playoffs unless they somehow win the race at Daytona. So this is their whole.
Would help.
This is their whole season. So Ty Dillon, that 10 teams going to bring everything they got at Indy. Ty Dillon is a former winner in Indianapolis, won the Xfinity Series, his only Xfinity win back in 2014, beat Kyle Busch at Indy. Not a small feat.
He only won one race.
That's his only accolade other than the Truck Series. Is in the other two series would win the. Yeah, he only won one race.
He won a stage at Germain Racing at Talladega.
No, Bristol. Yeah, Bristol. He beat Clint Boyer by like half a car length. 2018.
Didn't he win a stage at Talladega
He
too?
might have too, but I know he won the stage at Bristol 2018, 2017, somewhere around there. So this can make their season. So I think they're going to put all the eggs into that 10 team, and hopefully they can get it done. But it's a very interesting matchup. And I would love to see the amount of people that had Ty Dillon versus Ty Gibbs in their championship.
0.
Because I guarantee you it's probably...
It's exactly 0.
might,
None of them.
It might be one person.
Nope, it's 0.
But love to see the stats on that. But Yeah, this in-season tournament has been fun to keep up with. Obviously, our guys got knocked out very early, but it's still been fun to keep up with. And a small team like Collie, this is what they're meant for something like this, where they can make $1 million off of just being mediocre and putting themselves in the right position at the right time and having some luck along the way, and can make $1 million. So cheering for Ty Dillon this weekend. Go Team Chevy. Go Team Collie. Go Ty Dillon.
What's next?
I don't know.
I said I'm on one.
Is that what's next? DJ Khaled.
Another one.
Yeah, that one. Chicago Street is not happening in 2026.
Bye.
Yep, bye.
Fuck them. Road course racing sucks. NASCAR is an oval series. Road course racing sucks. In all honesty, it was fun while it lasted, but it is time for a change, I think. I said it, last week after the Chicago race.
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago after the Chicago race that, it's probably time for a change. Sounds like, and we'll get into it here in a minute, but sounds like San Diego is going to be the replacement, maybe not at the same time, but it seems like we're going to be doing a street course somewhere else. That's fine. I'm okay with having a street course, but Chicago, I think, has run its course. Would I rather see more ovals? Obviously, but Chicago.
You're not a real racing fan.
But obviously, Chicago has, it's produced some decent racing. When the rains come, but we had an all dry race a couple weeks ago, and it was hard to watch.
Well, I liked it more than you did.
Yeah, but you're also dumb. So, it's.
Am I Ed, or Eddie?
Ed.
Hey, I'll take it.
But it's not gonna be missed. I will look back on it fondly. I thought it was cool. I thought it was interesting. I don't blame NASCAR for doing it, but just it's a road course. So I will still say this: I would 100 times out of 100 root for them to race at the Chicago Street Course if it meant that the fucking Roval and Coda went away. But Chicago getting out of there, wonderful. I ain't worried about it.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's kind of run its course, and 3 years here, and it's kind of had a lot of politics involved, a lot of locals that have complained about the noise and the travel and everything, the logistics of it. It's time to make a change, and I think the people of San Diego, like I said, it doesn't have a professional sports team other than the San Diego Padres. I think San Diego will welcome NASCAR with open arms next year. We'll talk about that here in a little minute. But, Chicago was a fun experience. I think it gained some NASCAR fans. It had good ratings for the most part in the 3 years there. But, it's like anything these days. You do something once, cool. Second time, okay. Third time, I'm kind of over it. This is kind of how the world is these days. So if you don't have tradition in a lot of these races, a lot of these tracks, it's kind of hard to continue to do it. And it's kind of what Chicago Street Course has kind of turned into there. It was fun while it lasted. I don't necessarily see it going away forever. I could see them coming back here in 5, 6, 7, 8 years. But for now, I think, the way Chicago is and the logistics of it, it kind of makes sense to take a break from it, especially the date it was, 4th of July weekend. A lot of people were complaining just because a lot of families are together, people in town. Chicago is one of the biggest cities in the world. And I get that's why NASCAR did it. One of the most popular holidays in the summer to try to get more fans and eyeballs in the sport. But it makes sense to leave it at 3 years, and we'll see what happens in the future. If San Diego pops off, and maybe we get a LA street race, and then maybe we get a New York street race, maybe we come back to Chicago in 7-8 years, and we'll see how it goes. But overall, the racing there wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. You know, we had a good race there. 2023, 2024 was okay, and 2025 was okay. So not the worst racing in the world, but I think it just deserved to. 3 years was good enough for us, and we'll move on to the next one, and we'll see how it goes in San Diego next year.
San Diego, huh?
Yeah, that's not the next thing on the thing. Roof over Bristol.
Build it.
Let's
Next.
do it. Let's do it. I've been saying this for years.
Me too.
No, you haven't.
Yes.
No, the fuck you
I
have not.
remember.
I clearly said, because Bristol's so small and so fast, because you can't run rain tires there, I said, put a roof over that motherfucker if it starts raining.
And I agreed with you, and I said it's just not likely to occur.
Wait a minute now. Oh, what did you say?
And
Were you wrong?
And I still think it's not likely to occur.
Were you wrong?
No. I think it'd be cool. I just don't think it's going to happen.
That's cool, bro.
I remember, man, I must have been
Marcus Smith said something about this last week.
I remember.
Let's do it.
I must have been 7, 8, 6, 7, 9, somewhere in there. Went to Colorado National Speedway with my daddy, and got rained out.
Who?
Mark Embree, my daddy. And we got
not your daddy, your Diddy.
Yeah, him.
P Diddy.
No,
You gonna piss on me?
no, that's R. Kelly.
Oh shit!
But
No, I'll get some fucking lotion and oil,
baby oil.
baby oil.
But anyways, I remember asking him. I said, why don't they just fucking build roofs over these racetracks so the rain don't affect this? And he said, well, because of the ventilation, you would die from exhaust.
Fuck it. YOLO.
Which sounds like a good time to me. But it's. I do think that would be a problem. Obviously, I'm not an engineer, but
I don't do it.
I think they could figure out a way to ventilate. What I think what would happen is if they built a roof, it would have to be either
I disagree.
a roof that they could open, similar like Dallas Cowboys, Mercedes-Benz stadiums, having a roof like that you could open, because I still think it would be preferable to have the roof open if you're running a NASCAR race.
Yeah.
However, I think being able to close the roof if it starts raining to preserve the track, that way when it stops raining, you could just open it back up and start racing is a viable option.
Yeah.
Now, if you're going to run with the roof closed, I think you have two issues. Like I said, ventilation, which I think they could figure out. The other issue, I think, would be noise. And
it's like a wall.
yeah,
bouncing
Bristol
noise
is
off a wall.
already loud as fuck.
It is.
I mean, just god-awful loud.
It is.
I mean,
Especially when you get a green flag run and every car is right behind each other.
and I don't wear ear protection unless I've got which is, you can call me dumb if you want to. You're probably right. But I don't wear ear pro at
Ear pro?
ear protection.
Oh.
I don't wear ear pro at NASCAR events unless I'm wearing the scanner to listen to the radio. And Bristol's fucking loud.
It is.
Bristol's
It
very
is.
loud. So if you built a roof on that, it's just going to get louder. And I think that is a major concern. But I do think that if they do end up building one, it would have to be one that they could open, or it would be one that's like a semi. It's not fully enclosed, but it does cover the track.
Yeah.
So like cover the fans, cover the track, but maybe the infield's open so that the exhaust can go out. The noise could still have, it would still be louder, but the noise would still have some avenue of escape in there. I think having that is an option. However, I just don't think, and I could be wrong, and I'll admit if I am,
No way.
And I'm not really even married to this idea, but
You're not married.
it seems unlikely to me that this is actually going to happen.
Yeah.
But hopefully I'm wrong. I think it'd be cool. Bristol is obviously the best, easiest, maybe only place that this is possible.
Yeah.
But if they do it, awesome. I've got no problem with it. I do see a bunch of issues that like I said, I could be talked out of my beliefs on. But it just seems like there's a lot of problems with putting a roof over a racetrack.
Yeah, I would have no problem with this. I'd love the idea. Bristol's the one track that is fast enough and small enough to where you could get it to happen based off, like I said, the size and the speed and everything about
What the
it.
fuck's the speed got to do with it?
Well, if you can't race in the rain at Bristol. You can race in the rain at Martinsville, same size track.
I'm no stranger
But-
to the rain.
You're not.
When it starts raining, and I
no,
start
I've been
pouring.
saying this for years. I would think Bristol would be the perfect spot for this. Just try it. I mean, you tried a Chicago street course. You tried fucking building a fucking track inside USC, the Coliseum in L.A. Fucking let's try it. Bristol has been affected by rain a lot the past decade or two. Fuck, let's try it. It's small enough. They already got Colossus up there. Put a roof over that motherfucker. I like the idea. I would love it. Obviously, if it's not raining, I don't want it to be, covering the damn speedway. But if it's raining, if I can cover that shit up, dry the track, however rain got on the track, and let's go.
Now, there is one thing. Sorry to interrupt, but there is a dirt track. They run a chili bowl inside, don't they?
Yeah, I think so.
So it's possible.
It is. That's what I'm saying. Bristol would be the perfect spot. The perfect and only spot for this. So I love the idea. I've been saying it for years. I would love to see Bristol run a enclosed track if you can, or if you need to. Not if you can, if you need to. And I think it'd be fun. It'd be loud, but NASCAR fans are no bitches. So I think we can handle it and see how it goes. Real quick, let's talk about the Xfinity Series because we're running low on time.
I did not
here.
watch it, so you go ahead.
It wasn't a whole lot. Connor Zilic, Taylor Gray was leading from the pole.
Who?
Or had a bad pit stop, lost the track position. Connor Zilic took advantage of it, and they got rain shortened at the end. Connor Zilic won the race. Connor, I'll just speak on Connor real quick. He's that naysayer. That's all I'm going to say. He's a very good driver. He can do it on ovals and road courses. He can be a problem in the Cup Series here in a couple of years. It was a good broadcast as far as CW goes. Not a whole lot of problems there. Denny did a pretty good job calling it in the booth with Parker. I think it was Parker. Well, it might have been Jamie. Yeah, it was Jamie. Jamie and Adam did a good job there. And kind of an uneventful Xfinity race, to be honest with you. But you have them on those big jobs. And Connor's he's going to be a problem. And proved it yet again. Won his first quote-unquote oval race because, he won at Pocono, but it was only a 3-corner track. And, people gave him, or not people, but his team gave him crap about it. You see, he went on the damn 4-corner oval. Well, he finally did. Rain shortened or not, Connor probably had the best car all day. Him or Taylor Gray. And Eric was strong, but Almirola, he was racing part-time there. But yeah, Connor's he's a phenom, and he's gonna be a problem in the Cup Series in a couple of years. And just his 4th win of the season, I believe, 5th win for the '88 car. Because if you include the Kyle Larson win at Texas when Connor hurt his back, my back. But it was really kind of uneventful.
Spinal.
Yeah, but good win for Connor. Carson let me down. Ran like 15th all day, 18th to 15th, and really was never a factor. So not a really whole lot to talk about there. But we kind of talked about this briefly. San Diego's pretty much confirmed for next year. I love the idea of it. Like I said, no professional sports team other than the Padres in San Diego lost the Chargers several years back. And I think the fans, the people of San Diego will welcome NASCAR with open arms next year, and it'll put on a good race. Anything from Chicago, it'll be different, it'll be unique, and SVG will probably win the race.
Yeah, I agree. I think if they're going to do one, San Diego's a fine enough spot. Not in California right now. California, huge market for NASCAR.
Saying NASCAR is not in California other than Sonoma.
I forget Sonoma, but that's fair. But that's
Northern
I
California.
guess you're fucking my point up. But NASCAR used to have 2 races in California.
And Sonoma. They used to race the Auto Club twice a year.
I meant the state, but you're right. There used to be 3.
I
Used to be 3 races in California, so
Well, I thought
even
that's what-
my point even better.
I thought that's what you meant.
You're right. But I do think
Riverside.
racing down there in Southern California probably a good idea. San Diego, San Diego sucks for sports. Padres suck ass. They lost the
Better than the damn
the
Rockies.
Chargers. Everybody better than Rockies. But fuck the Padres. I can't like them there in the NL West, but and fuck the Chargers as well. They left for Los Angeles.
Go Chargers, go!
But I think having a race down there would be a fine idea. Hopefully they get the racetrack right and make a competitive street course out of it. Again, like I said, I think a couple weeks ago is 2-3 years of that, and I'll probably be tired of it too. So, we'll see. We'll see what they do with the course and how it works. But I'm fine with it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they set up the course next year. Chicago did a really good job of setting up their course, so hopefully San Diego can take some pointers off that and have some really good passing zones because street course is known for difficult passing, so hopefully they have some passing zones in San Diego. I don't want to be follow the leader in San Diego next year. We'll have to see how it goes, but I'm excited for it. See something different. It's the way the world is nowadays. You need to see something different, and San Diego, I think, is the perfect spot for the new road street course for next year.
Attaboy.
Attaboy.
Go ahead. Who me attaboy is?
You know who it ain't gonna go to Alan Gustafson. I'll
That's
tell
who
you
I was
that.
giving mine to.
Are you? My attaboy. This might be a shock. I know.
Denny Hamlin.
Denny Hamlin. On older tires, he fought off Kyle Larson, Christopher Bell, and a hard charging Chase Briscoe at the end of the race. I'm not a huge fan of Denny Hamlin. Obviously, he drives for Toyota.
He's the GOAT.
But he did a great job today and hanging on for the win. Didn't have the best car, probably had the second or third best car. But, man, for him to fight off all those guys at the end of the race, I know he got lucky with 2 teammates beside him at the end of the race, but got to get restarted on Larson at the end when I think Larson was probably his stiffest competition on him kind of not winning the race. Got to get a restart on Larson. Larson's pretty good at restarts, and Denny did a great job. Didn't do nothing dirty, didn't do nothing wrong, and did a great job. I mean, he's in his he's 44. Got his fourth win of the season. His most wins since I think 2021. So just a great job from Denny and that whole team, man. They've been struggling the past couple of weeks, other than Chicago. Obviously, Denny's not the best road course racer in the world, especially with the next-gen car. But they found their stride yet again. He won this race last year, and he won it yet again today. And Dover used to be one of his worst racetracks when he was coming up in the Cup Series, and it's turned into one of his best. So I give credit to Denny Hamlin and that whole team for him adapting his racing style and him getting it done. Playoff points go in, matter a ton as far as you go into the playoffs. And Denny's not made it the past couple of years, and extra win or two than that the last couple of years, he would have been in the Final Four and could have had a chance to win the championship. And this year he's got 4, most in the series. I think that's what it's going to take for him to make the Final Four this year. If he can win another race, that'll be huge. He's doing way better than I thought he would. And Mother Nature is Mother Nature. Father Time is undefeated, but he hasn't caught up Denny Hamlin yet. So
Haters in the building.
yeah, Attaboy, Denny Hamlin, and the whole 11 team.
Yeah, it's obvious that's going to be my pick, but I think the other obvious one is Chase Briscoe. Chase Briscoe qualified, well, didn't qualify, but based on metric, was on outside pole, and led the first 13 laps of the race. Got passed by Chase there, and was kind of, I wouldn't say a non-factor, but was not really competitive as far as winning the race goes for 99% of the race. But made a good pit strategy there at the end. 13 laps ago, comes down, puts some tires on, and restarts like 12th. Really good restart on the second to last restart, and gets back up there, or I guess there's 3 restarts then, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's 3 restarts. So the third to last restart from 12th probably works his way up to like 5th, 6th or 5th. With that last wreck, ends up being second, and has a chance to win the race. Is running his teammate side by side, coming to the white, and has an opportunity to win the race. And I think if it's literally anybody else, he uses them up a little bit and wins the race. Doesn't make that decision. Can't say whether or not I would have, or whether that was right or wrong. But definitely was in a position to win the race, and made a decision to finish second, because I think it was his race to win should he wanted to have used Denny up a little bit, and obviously, like I said, didn't. But really good run for him. He's been really good past couple months. I think I gave it to Briscoe not long ago. I remember talking about him, and maybe doesn't win a ton. Probably not the guy you pick to win the race every week, but he's been fast in qualifying, and he's been fast, on race day for the most part, and had opportunity to win races. And I think that 19 team is coming into their own, and going to continue to looking forward, and continue to build, and wouldn't surprise me if they're competitive down the stretch in the playoffs. So just got to keep it up, and we'll see what happens. And that's probably my favorite car in the Joe Gibbs stable. I kind of like Chase Briscoe a little bit.
I thought you were a Denny Hamlin fan.
Yeah, I like Denny too, but I like both those guys. But I like Briscoe a little bit.
What about Christopher Bell?
You can suck my dick, but
Fuck him. Why you spun out twice, you pussy?
I do like Briscoe. So we'll see. We'll see how the season goes for him. But he's putting himself in a position to be very competitive going into the playoffs. So attaboy.
Yep. You can't do that. Hit that button. You can't do that. Who's you can't do that?
Well, that's a great question. I could steal yours and be a dick, but I'm not, because I kind of disagree with you. But other than that, as far as Sunday goes, not a lot of crazy stuff happens. One thing we didn't talk about, and I don't know why this just came to mind, you can't do that, doesn't fit, but I think it's worth mentioning. Joey got Ross back a little bit. I don't know if you saw it or not.
Yeah, I
but
did.
Joey did get him
Couple
back.
times.
A couple of times. Bumped him out of the way there. So attaboy for that. But
you can't do that.
It
Not the
is.
attaboy.
It is. I think.
Yeah, I agree. That dude sucks. Yeah.
Okay. Hold on. One more honorable mention
Oh,
for
my God.
Attaboy. Sorry. I get it. But one more honorable mention for Attaboy is NASCAR for letting them finish the race.
Yeah.
13 laps to go. Nobody would have blamed them for
14.
for canceling it. But they waited about an hour red flag, and let them get back to it and finish the race. So I'm happy that NASCAR did that.
I agree.
But I guess.
Oh, my God. Would you give
Shut
it
the
to
fuck up!
somebody?
I'm about to say I've made the decision. God damn! I guess I'm gonna give it to Carson Hocevar.
Who?
He finished 35th. Can you tell me how?
He hit the wall.
Is that what happened?
Broke a toe link.
He was awful all day.
He was not awful.
He wasn't good. He got in.
He got up to the top 15, and then he fucked up. He got a speeding penalty, I think. No, equipment interference.
Yeah, that's the last time I saw
then
him.
he
Is when
overdrove it.
when they drug the gas
can.
out of the pit box. And
Yep.
I guess then you said he hit the wall and finished 35th. I had him on my pick him this week. It's kind of why I'm picking him. But still, like you would expect.
Same.
You'd expect him to be better. You know, he's been really good this year. It's hit or miss, but he's been really good on these type of tracks. You know, mile and a half type stuff. He's been really fast. Probably should have won the Coke 600. Was really fast there. I get it.
Almost won Michigan.
Yeah, almost won Michigan. Not the same as Dover, but still.
You can't do that. Obviously, is going to Brad Keselowski. Nah, as I talked about it earlier in the episode, but giving it to Alan Gustafson, just making a terrible pit call when he had the best car all day. I'm not going to get too deep into it because I already talked about it, but yeah, just when you have a chance to win the race, you got the best car all day, you got the driver that's at one of his best tracks, you can't make a decision and a bad decision like that as he did. And cost your driver a chance to win the race because I think ultimately that's what cost him a chance to win this race. And only got one win this year at Atlanta a couple weeks ago, but playoff points are key. And 5 playoff points would have gone a long way for the 9 team, and I think they deserve to win this race today. And it just didn't happen, and mainly because of Alan Gustafson. Sure, Chase Elliott could have probably driven the car maybe a tad bit better at the end of that run, but guy hadn't been on 2 tires all day. Nobody's really been on 2 tires until Chase Elliott did that. So, yeah, just an unnecessary, what'd you say, ballsy call that was not necessary for the best driver and the best car at the race. You don't have that if you got the best car. You do that when you're like a 7th place car. You're trying to win the race. And it didn't make any sense in the moment as well because you only had like 5-6 guys on the same lap as you, and you wouldn't have lost any positions if you took 4 over 2. So it is bad. I do hope that Allen gets it together for the playoffs, but I don't know. They said I think he's lost his fastball. He just ain't got what he used to have, and I wish they make a change on that 9 team on the pit box, but probably not. But we'll see because Chase really seems like he really likes Allen. But yeah, it's a bad call, and you get the burn end of the stick if you have the best car and you make the wrong decision. So yeah, it's I'm still mad about it. Calm down a little bit, obviously, but yeah, Alan Gustafson and I'll give it to the Jackman as well, fucking up on the second pit stop of the race, costing Chase the lead at first. Just the whole 9 team as a whole, other than Chase Elliott, I think he drove a good enough race to win the race, and he didn't get it, and he wasn't allowed to get the win at the end. So Alan Gustafson and team, you can do that.
Yeah, we got Indy this week. Gonna suck.
What'd you say?
Got Indy this week. It's gonna suck.
Yeah, I agree.
Gonna be hard to pass. Gonna be track position dominant.
Anybody gonna use that high line?
I doubt it.
If you are,
That's a fucking banger. Haters in the building.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, I think it's gonna be very track position dominant, and like I said earlier, I'm not really super looking forward to the Roush cars being fast, and We'll see, but and probably a Toyota or a Chevrolet gonna win, and that's unfortunate. But we'll see. Hopefully, I'm pleasantly surprised. I think Indy's got the chance. Being a fuel mileage race. Fuel mileage races every now and then are entertaining. Last year came down to Brad and a couple of those guys trying to stretch it out on fuel and kind of affecting the end of the race, and whether or not cautions should have been flying when they weren't, or whether they should have been or shouldn't have been when they were. Very, very likely to see that again. But as far as the racing on the track goes, I don't really know if it's going to be very good. So, we'll see. Hopefully, I'm pleasantly surprised, but won't be surprised if I'm not.
Yeah.
Is that heart burning?
Yeah. Whew.
What'd you get for being overweight?
Fuck off. Yeah.
I got it too.
Yeah, I about lost my damn soul. I don't have a soul. I'm a ginger. But, god damn.
He don't need a dam. He can walk on water.
Breathe, Trent. Breathe.
While this is going on, do you know what the fish said when he ran into the concrete wall?
Ow.
Damn.
Anyways, I think I'm good now. Indy this week, it should be a decent race. He had Blaney fast there last year. He had Larson, Denny, Reddick, Chase. Remember, he's leading the race till he got a pit road penalty for no fucking reason. Came on the track too early, which is bullshit. So I expect all those guys to be fast. I feel like Brad's going to be pretty quick. Maybe. We'll never know. We'll never know. We'll see. But, I'm expecting kind of the same as we saw this week. Kind of Hendrick and Gibbs dominance. And, speed on pit road. Don't come on the track too fucking early. Chase Elliott. And Alan Gustafson, don't make a stupid fucking decision late in the race. But this race has eluded Denny Hamlin for a long time. He's going to be fired up. He's got momentum. Winning here this past weekend at Dover. And Joe Gibbs Racing's always been very fast here. Going back to Kyle Busch and all those guys back in the day. So Joe Gibbs and Hendrick should be the teams to beat. I can see Blaney being fast. Logano's been pretty good here in the past. Never got it done. But Penske, this is Roger Penske's playground. So I expect Penske to bring some speed with the 12, 22, and maybe even the 2 with Austin Cindric. We never know. But I'm expecting not a great race, track condition race. And we'll see if strategy plays a factor. It usually does in these Brickyard 400s. But we'll just see, man. It's the card got full. But we're almost done anyway. But it's hard to see. It's the World Center of Race, not the World Center of Race, Daytona. What is Indy called?
The Brickyard.
Jackass. I know what it's called. I know what that. It's called something else. The world. No, not the. Fuck. It's called something else.
The Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Shut the fuck up. Anyways, it's a prestigious race. It should matter. And hopefully have a deserving winner at the end. And fuel mileage could come into a factor. It could not. Determine how the cautions come. And I just hope we have a good finish. That's all I'm hoping for. Good finish. Deserving winner. And we'll see how it goes.
Who you got?
I'm going to go with the hometown boy.
Fuck.
What?
I was picking him.
Were you?
Yeah.
I'm going with Chase Briscoe this weekend. Back-to-back second place finishes. He's going to be fired up. Got the best equipment he's ever had at this track. Thank you, Ryan Preach, for letting me pick him. Because I didn't know who the fuck else I was going to pick. Briscoe's on a roll. And I think he's going to continue this role. I don't know if he'll win the race, but he'll be competitive. He won at Pocono, very similar track to this Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And, I think Chase Briscoe gets his hometown win that he's been dying for. Got the equipment to do it. Give me Chase Briscoe this weekend.
Yeah, fine. Fuck you. I guess I'm going to take a layup here because I really got nobody else that I'm even thinking of. So I'll go with the next person that comes to mind. You're probably going to disagree, and it is a bit of a dumb pick. However, if I remember correctly, he was all right last year and ended up wrecking himself trying to go for some stupid shit. So give me Kyle Busch. Was pretty fast here last year, like I said. Got himself into some trouble, wrecked himself, kind of trying to drive in over his head. I don't expect him to win the race, but I think he'll be competitive enough. He's, like you said earlier, he's been pretty decent throughout past couple weeks, and historically pretty good here at Indy. So
Won twice here.
I think Kyle will be okay. I don't think he's going to be competitive for the win, but Briscoe has a problem here or there, or maybe just misses the setup a little bit. I think Kyle Busch will be right there on him, and I think it's a decent enough pick when you don't know who you got. So. Give me Kyle, and I think
Larson?
yeah, no, give me Kyle Busch.
Yeah, that's good. That's a pretty good pick for all things considered. But yeah, Riley, what you got going on this week?
Working Wednesday, Thursday. Other than that, not shit. Watch some racing this weekend, I guess.
Yeah.
Try to take my boys to the national championship.
Who?
In college football.
You ain't got a chance. I'll still have a chance at that.
The North Texas Mean Green.
The Rice Owls.
Well, I tell you what, though, we gonna beat the fuck out of the Rice Owls week 13. So,
in case you didn't know, when you got off Thursday, I did play the next game while you were on your bye week.
Who was that?
Who was that?
Kentucky.
No, I won 18-12. So I am 10-0 going into the North Texas game. I did that so we could play maybe tomorrow, according to how everything goes. But yeah, I'm next on the. You're next on my docket.
I've got the better squad.
You do.
And historically, when we play heads up,
Historically, you
we,
won in quadruple overtime in 25 when you had Boise State and I had fucking Fresno State.
And
who fucking made the playoff?
And to be fair,
last year, Boise State, who didn't even come close. Fresno State.
When we played South Carolina versus Clemson at my house, the last time we played heads up, I beat you, and you stormed out of my fucking house.
I don't remember that.
I do.
I don't remember that. I don't know what you're talking about. I think I was still 14. But yeah, it should be fun. I obviously got the gender reveal tomorrow, so I was hoping Chase could win today, could solidify my kid as a boy because what's the name of the mascot for Dover?
Miles.
Well, that's going to be our name of our kid if it's a boy.
After Miles Teller?
Yeah. So I thought that maybe might have been some
Miles Austin.
some foreshadowing there, but Chase didn't win. Denny won.
You're not naming him Riley?
Huh?
You're not naming him Riley?
Absolutely not.
That's ridiculous.
So it's probably going to be a girl.
Not Chase?
No. It's we thought about Elliot, but yeah. So it's probably going to be a girl tomorrow. We'll let you know
What's
on how
the girl
that.
name?
Huh?
What's the girl name?
Natalie.
Suzanne.
No, it's Natalie.
Lillian.
If it's a girl, I think it's Natalie. For Natalie Portman.
Decker?
No. Natalie Portman. But anyways.
I hate sand.
Yeah, no, she didn't. Anakin did. So we'll see how that goes tomorrow. We'll update you next week on what it is and everything. But other than that, got to work all week. Have the weekend off. I got to go to my farm, I think, over the weekend and check the trail cameras and check the batteries on all of them. See if we got any big racks to look at.
Oh, I love big racks.
I do too. So
Rack City, bitch. Rack City, bitch.
Yeah, so we'll got that going on, and other than that, just hopefully can watch the Indy race Sunday. Hopefully I'll be back by then. Hopefully the rain will not get in to my plans over the weekend, so I can come back and watch the race Sunday and everything. And then next week, well, not next week, but the week after, I got my birthday, so we'll have my birthday episode next week, and all that jazz.
Yeah.
But yeah, follow us on TikTok at the Highline Podcast. Follow us on Instagram at the Highline Official. Follow us on YouTube at the Highline Podcast. Appreciate all the love. We've been getting a lot of views here the past couple of weeks. Appreciate that on YouTube. Follow us on Spotify and Apple Podcast at the Highline. Hit the notification bell
Ding ding.
to get every update every time we drop an episode. We'll come back with you next week to review Indianapolis, who won the fucking in-season challenge. I'm telling you, it's going to be time. And more. But until next time, go Tigers.
Go Cox.